I move that the closed meeting session be deemed closed so that we may return to the regular meeting, seconded by Councillor Goodimar. All those in favor, thank you. There is a resolution called upon to be approved. All right, go ahead, Councillor Grimard. Be it resolved that Town Council accept the hiring of Alexandra Riel as Economic Development Officer on a full-time basis as of the 30th of March 2020, and that she be subject to a probationary 6-month period, and that be it deemed that she work on the 24th and 25th of February to get acquainted with the position, and that her salary be pegged at class 7 and 8 for non-unionized employees as recommended. Seconded by Councillor Choignard. All those in favor? Carried then, thank you. Next item, announcements. Go ahead, Councillor Choignard. There's one family activity hosted by the Living Natural Park this coming weekend. I received a comment from one of the members of the committee. I'd like to share this comment. She stated that all members of the committee that was present last Saturday were quite satisfied with the rate of participation. There were 7 individuals that did take part in activities, and most of them showed up in the morning, and a great deal showed up in the afternoon also. We had great temperature. It was ideal. It allowed them to promote activities, and there was a printed publicity sheet, if you wish, that was distributed throughout the community. Many were surprised to discover the beautiful natural aspects of the walking paths and other paths that go around this park. And there are few paths really that crisscross, so that the ski paths will not overlap on the snowshoe paths. Many folks stated that they would come back and try out those paths in the future. Now, the purpose for this activity was to encourage sponsors to take part in these activities, and they called about 10 or so comments that will allow them to improve the advertising that is there. There were people that were attended of all ages, even over and above 80 years of age, that took part in cross-country skiing activities, and it will certainly enhance our area's activity roster. Chantal Lalonde wrote that. Sir, I'd just like to thank members of the City of Clarence and Rockland's participation in the Alain Potvin Park family activity. There were people that were lined up waiting to take part in activities. There were free pool activities available to all individuals, and folks from our administration did great work, and I'd like to congratulate them for what they did. Mr. Zant, Mr. Cardarelli, anything else? Yes, the community services team was very busy with the Clarence Creek Carnival. Pierre, your team did wonderful work. The Lions Club are always welcomed, and they do great work. And I'd like to thank members of your team for what they did, and yourself. The Potvin Park also had its grand opening. It was not cold, it was really cold. But of course, we had maple syrup offered to a lot of individuals. I think we went through also 8 hot chocolate containers. Everybody was quite happy in taking part in those activities. We asked for more trees to be given to us. There was 500 trees to be given away. I believe last year we fell short on trees to give away, and South Nation will supply us with 500 additional trees this year at the same price as last year. So that's fine. Is there anything that you'd like to withdraw from any of the consent items to be read tonight at tonight's meeting? No? Mr. Levad? Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that all items appearing under consent items be adopted. Item 10.1, adoption of the minutes of the following meetings. A regular meeting of the Committee of the Whole, February the 3rd, 2020. 10.2, the following recommendations from Committee of the Whole of February 3rd, 2020. A resolution to approve an exemption to the standing offer roster selection process to retain Stantec to provide the required services for the snow disposal facilities update. And B, resolution to approve that the administration deviates from the current procurement policy to sole source the consulting services for community benefit charge strategy. Item 10.3, resolution to adopt the itemized statement of remuneration and expenses paid in 2019, and item 10.4, resolution to adopt the salaries paid from December 29th, 2019 to January 25th, 2020 in the gross amount of $1,073,198.07 and net amount of $733,278.21. Seconded by Councillor Grimard. All those in favor? Carry then, thank you. Item 11.1, Councillor Grimard, please. Yes, Mr. Mayor. Item 11.1. This item deals with accounts paid. I'm just finding my way through the electronic printout. Okay. For the period of 14th of January, in the amount of $3,643,071 to be adopted as recommended. Any questions? All those in favor? Carried. Item 11.2 then. Councillor Zed, be it resolved that Council authorizes the Director of Protection Services to spend an amount not exceeding $40,000 for the purchase of articles identified in Report PRO 2020-00. Seconded by Councillor Joignière, or Chouanière, should I say? Questions? All those in favor? Carried. Oh, I guess I should probably go in English. The report says that you have 29,182 and you want to take, it's below 40, but it's 39,000. Are you confident that we won't get any surprises because you'll only have 20,000 left in the contingency fund? The last thing we'd like, is something to happen that sometimes, it's out of our control. And it happens because what I see there, these items, I know they have to be ordered so that we can have them delivered. So it's 39,000. So if something happens, either mechanical or something that has to be fixed or redone because it's not up to standard or something we want to invest in, I just want to make sure that if you understand what I'm saying. Are you expecting any surprises? Through the mayor, no, I'm not expecting any more surprises. Likely, we'll be following the budget. The only contingency would be something that would not in the contract, that would be related to construction or something else. So I think we're in the final days of construction right now. If there was an issue, then, for example, an effigy in the building, that would have to be added into the contract. But I don't see any contingencies as per the contract stipulated. Fine. What we have done is to buy the rest of everything that you needed, and we did so through the mayor. At the end of the budget day, I think that we came in under budget, and I think that was discussed. We had reduced this budget when we had resorted to the binary exercise. If we did not have that money, we would have not have had this money. We would have had to be caught buying a couple of tables or a couple of chairs here and there over the years. Well, I believe that we have to keep the budget that concerning the project that was outlined. I'll come back to council with any other estimation. One of the things that was mentioned in your report is not what you wanted to buy now, but is what you want to buy. The washers for the bunker here, we're talking about a little bit over 40 grand here for something that we did externally with a private company, I guess, for a little over 4,000 a year before, according to what the budgets stated. I guess that you made an assessment internally that it was more long-term economical, if you wish to do it that way. I'm just wondering who's going to be responsible to clean up his own stuff on his own time as a prerequisite. And as a follow-up to that, while you're answering and before you answer, you remember that the Bourget site is on a septic field. So septic tanks and non-commercial like that doesn't really like, having any contaminants like that. It's not built for that kind of operation. So I'm hoping that you've reached out to South Nation before purchasing anything. Through the mayor, I'd address that. Yes, the first part of the question is yes. Prior to, we are washing our gear as recommended by the manufacturer. So we're supposed to wash that gear at minimum twice a year, regardless of anything. Once a year, we can do that in-house, and once a year, we're supposed to send that to a third-party company to expect it to make sure that there are no rips and tears. So there's still one cleaning inspection that will be done externally, but the other one will be done in-house. We have roughly 100 sets per year for each of our firefighters, plus a few spares. If we factor in the cost, what we're doing is through the party, plus the time involved in doing that, done, shipping, and so on, I'm expecting around $75-ish for shipping. So that's $7,500 a year over 10 years. We've spent $75,000 only washing the gear once. That's assuming we have no fires. So the reality is to spend $38,000 and to have this for staff to wash in-house. Not only will it lower our overall operating cost, but it will allow us to service quickly our returning gear. It's about 2 weeks out as usual, so for about 2 weeks when it comes back, we won't have to buy additional gear at $2,500 a set. So there's a reality that there is a capital cost up front. The second part of your question was in regard to the septic tank at South Nation, and again, the intended use of the building as well as that particular room was planned for and discussed with the design builder and the general contractor. I don't know personally if that specific conversation was had with South Nation, but my expectation on the entire project team is that the entire septic tank was designed to meet the needs of the building as well as anticipated use. I have to follow up to determine if that specific question was asked and addressed. Not so much the tank itself, sir, but the drainage afterwards. Because that's where the contaminants block. Well, the tile is brand new, so it should be able to take that. Well, not only that, but the products that we make use to wash it with are also they're natural, so the chemical components will change the fabrics and the response to various conditions. I believe that the soap that we use is a natural based product. As far as I understand the environmental impact, but the size of the tank was significantly upsized, including significant washing and showering. The septic tank is quite large in comparison to a building of that size, and that was done intentionally for potential use. Fine. Any other questions then? All those in favor? Fine, thank you. Bylaws, municipal bylaws. Councillor Choyant, be it resolved that the following bylaws be adopted. 12.1, 2020-07, zoning amendment, 3054 Gagne Road, and item 12.2, bylaw 2020-12, removal of part lot control, block 45 on plan 50M-323 de l'Étang Street. Seconded by Well, is there all right? So everybody's in favor. There are no items that needed to be withdrawn. Confirmatory bylaw. I move that bylaw 2012-13 be deemed as a confirmatory bylaw for all measures adopted at this regular meeting of Town Council. Councilor Simard is in favor. Geez, guys, you're not all that quick tonight. Adjournment called at 7:35 p.m. It's because we're not pressed for time tonight. Will Mrs. Simard will call me and say that our meetings are end too quickly and that her husband comes home too early. Fine, thank you then.